Hey, welcome back to another episode of Camping Camera. Today we're going to un-winterize this camper. Hey, welcome back everyone. I know for the past while we've been working on the construction of the Camp Easy 5945 teardrop, and we're going to still keep on with that. But hey, this is a beautiful day. It's almost the official start of spring. Today will be a super good day to get this big camper un-winterized and ready for the season. So come on. So last fall when I winterized the camper, one of the things I had to do was pull the battery out to keep it from getting too cold during the winter and freezing and going dead on me. I'm just using a marine battery, just pre-run-of-the-mill marine battery. I've had it on trickle charge in a warm place pretty much all winter, so it should be in good shape, should be nice and topped off to put back in the camper. And it's just as heavy as I remember. I always like to put the positive terminal on first. That way if I bump into the camper with the wrench, it's not going to spark. And then I put the ground on last, so if I do bump into something, it's just bumping into itself. Alright, we got the battery in and hitch hooked up, and we got the truck pulled forward into a sunny spot. I need to check this anode rod in the water heater. Normally I would relieve the pressure valve, but I did that back in the winter, or in the fall when I winterized it. That's a nasty looking thing, isn't it? But it looks like it has most of its life left in it. It's about a 1/4 inch right here. There's a rod that goes from tip to tip, and most of the rod is still good. So looks like it's usable. I just need to put some new Teflon on it and put it back in. There's a little debris in the bottom. I'm just going to spray it out lightly. Now it's time to put the water filter back in. Oh, yeah, I gotta have to use the wrench. There we go. Pull out the old antifreeze. Now, I just rinsed the container out. I'm putting the filter in and put it back in with the wrench. And while I was replacing the water filter, I also turned the valve to bypass the winterizing port that goes into the water pump. On this particular unit, the water heater is inside this bottom cabinet. You open that up and you basically just turn the 3 valves to winterize it, and turn the 3 valves again the opposite way to un-winterize it. Easy as that. Now it's time to plug in the city water connection so I can test all the lines to make sure there are no leaks. And I also want to put some water in the freshwater tank so that I can check out the pump. So now I'm going to open the faucets and run the commode to flush out the de-winterizing fluid, or the antifreeze. Now the hot water, I'm going to do it first. And the water has to fill up the water heater, so it's going to make a lot of crazy noises until it gets primed. I also need to flush the commode. To keep me from having to smell all the fumes coming out of the black tank, I'm just going to let it fill up with a couple gallons of water, dump it, push the pedal halfway down, let it cycle again. This would also be a good time to drop in some black water tank sanitizer. I'm just using these little Camco brand sanitizers. Just drop one of those in there. Again, I'm just going to let the toilet fill up with a couple gallons of water, or maybe a gallon of water. Then let that flush. So now we'll purge the shower. I'm using an Oxygenics shower head. If you haven't put one of those in your camper, oh my goodness. It's a water saver and the pressure is really good. So I'm just going to turn on the hot water and turn on the cold water and push the button back up. Now that everything's been cycled a few times, it'd be a great opportunity to check the connections in the water heater cabinet to make sure there aren't any leaks. And everything looks pretty good. Another spot that's real easy to forget is the outdoor shower. Be sure to drain it. And the last thing I do on the water system is find the low point drain on my camper and drain those off. So I just turned the city water off to go into the camper, and now I'm going to check the pump to make sure it's okay. Right now everything's quiet. When I turn the faucet on, I should hear the pump kick in, and when I turn it off, it should kick back off. That's a lot of pressure. And listen for it. The pump's changing sounds, getting deeper, and it kicked off, so everything's okay there. Now I'm going to go back out, look at the water filter, look at the pump just to make sure there aren't any leaks, and that should be all I have to do on the water part of the de-winterization. So technically, now that the battery is back in the camper and I went through the water system, it's technically de-winterized at this point, and you could go camping in it. But there's a few other things that I want to check. I want to make sure that the propane is working as well as it did when I shut it down last winter. Need to get the refrigerator cooling, check it, make sure over a couple 3-day period it gets good and cold. Just a variety of things like that. All the light switches. You never know what's going to happen over a winter time, so I want to be sure I don't have any surprises when I get to the campground. There we go. Let me go ahead and do the others. So like I said at the beginning of the video, it's still a few days out from the official start of spring, and there is still a coolness in the air, but one of the good things about that is since it is cool, it gives me an opportunity to test out the furnace to make sure that if it gets cold one night when I'm camping early in the season, it's going to work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. I'm going to turn the furnace to heat, which is all the way over here, and it's already kicked on. And I'm going to pull the thermostat up to about 70, 71, 72 degrees. And I'll check it here in a moment. I'll put my hand over the vent to make sure there's warm air coming out. And if there is, then I know we're okay on the furnace. So I just put my hand on the vent and I did feel heat coming out. I know the furnace is okay. And I happen to remember I haven't checked the water heater yet. So I turned it on as well. I walked around the camper. I heard the gas kick on. So I know the water heater is making hot water. So it seems a little overkill, but I like to check the appliances out as well. I'm going to check the microwave. And everything's working okay there. So I'm just going to, looks like the little tray was off center. So while doing my walk around, and another good reason to do it, is I happen to notice a little bit of water in the floor. Let me show you where that's coming from. There's some water coming right across the floor through here, and I traced it, and it looks like it's coming from right here. So obviously the seal, the silicone seal on the inside of that one piece of shower glass must be faulty, and I have some silicone, so I'm going to fix that. But I'm glad I found it here instead of finding it at the campground. So we're going to move to the outside and try to get this camper washed. Every year when I wash it the first time, when I unroll the awning, it is just super nasty on the underside. There's some kind of a reddish brown, I don't know if it's mildew or mold or whatever it is, This is my third camper with an awning on it. Every camper I've ever had has done this, and I even keep this stored under cover in the wintertime, so I don't know how to keep it from doing that. But I was reading a review on some cleaner on the internet the other day, and it said instead of just applying the cleaner and scrubbing it and then rinsing it back off, it said to apply the cleaner and then roll the awning back up and let it set for a bit before you scrub it off, and that the cleaner would work better. So I'm going to give that a try. I'm just going to rinse it real quick to get off any loose dirt, and then I'll spray the cleaner on there and roll the awning back up while I'm washing the camper. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so I've only done a little test piece, trying to scrub the awning after it had been rolled up for a period of time. I can't tell that it makes any difference. Maybe just be the cleaner I'm using. On the net, I saw where folks using some kind of cleaner called Awesome, and gosh, there was another one, but Awesome is the one that comes to mind. Simple Green maybe, and I haven't tried those. That may be the ticket, but the Camco cleaner rolled up for a period of time and then scrubbed, I don't know that it does a whole lot of good. So it's a shame to have such a nice camper and have such a nasty awning underneath. If you have any better ideas, please leave it in the comment section below, and maybe I'll test one of those ideas out on the next video or an upcoming video and see how it does. So I have the camper washed, and I went ahead and washed the truck. Can't wash the camper without having a clean tow vehicle too. The last thing I'm going to do in de-winterizing it is I'm going to use some of this Camco slide out and lube protectant. I'm just going to spray the slide mechanism or the track, and then I'll probably go and spray any of the movement points on the awning as well. So with that, I think we have the camper un-winterized, and I'm not telling you that's how you're supposed to un-winterize a camper. That's just what I do. I've been doing it this way for several years and it seems to work well. I just don't want any surprises when I get to the campground. I want to make sure that the camper's ready and the truck is ready to pull it. I did find that little leak in the shower. It was a very minor thing. I'll fix that probably 15 minutes one evening, and I'm glad I found it here instead of finding it on a trip. So hey, if this is your first time here, appreciate you being here. We're normally doing build videos on building a teardrop camper, and I've almost got that ready to get on the road. So if you like what you've seen in this episode, click that like button and be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with more build videos of the Camp Easy 5945 teardrop and videos of using the big camper out in the wild. So till next time, take care. We'll see you later.